So I was just telling Candace, we have students with us this morning from Western Academy, so we're going to have you all stand so we can recognize you today. Our students from Western Academy, all of our scholars, go ahead and stand so we can clap for you. And welcome to Rooster Booster, and one thing you'll learn if you come back, I always go off script. So come on up. We're actually going to get a photo op because we can't let this go without getting a photo. So come on up.
We have OHS kids too.
Oh, we have OHS kids. Okay, yes. And David Phillips, come on up. We're going to get a big photo op. Don't be shy. Just a couple of them bite.
Nobody bites up here.
We don't. Come on up. We'll get this way. Come on. So kind of scrunch in, which I'm sort of like. Yeah, you come down there. You're very tall. Come in the back there. Let's see. We'll kind of get you all. This is really good. Come on down. We have some more room down here.
Kenzie, what do you think?
I did an internship at Olin Mills in the 80s.
How are we going to do this?
And glamour shots in the 90s.
And other David.
This is going to be awesome. Okay. I was going to try to strong arm this and selfie it. There's no way. So do you mind getting photos? This is perfect.
Kenzie, can you do it from there?
We probably should hop to the back. Can you get us all? We need to do like landscape.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Awesome. Good work, team. Good job, y'all. Very nice. When you post those on your socials, use the hashtag Rooster Booster. Thank you. One table understands. Thank you. It's great. It's actually fun being back inside because, during our time away because of COVID, we started doing virtual Rooster Boosters. And one of the best parts of that was seeing these really cool videos welcoming our new members. And now that we're back inside, we get to do that again. So right now, we're going to welcome our brand new chamber members. So eyes to the screen, and we'll roll this video.
Solutions Medical Billing and Consulting is a locally owned medical billing company specializing in small independent medical practices. In addition to medical billing services, Alpha Solutions provides advertising and videography services, part-time practice management services, and consulting on multiple issues, including revenue optimization, compliance and Medicare programs, and practice workflow. Alpha Solutions is dedicated to helping medical practices become more efficient, save money, increase referrals, and advertise their services to the community. Joining us this morning are Christina Sissel and Brian Sissel. Welcome to the Chamber, Alpha Solutions. Cabinet Outlet opened its doors January 1st, 2021. The owner, Josh Haynes, is also partners with his father, Keith Haynes, in a construction company in Henderson, Kentucky, and has been in business for 44 years. Cindy Heap joined the company as the Business Development Manager. Cindy is a native of Owensboro, Kentucky, and has many years' experience working with the public. She brings with her the knowledge of business growth and is excited to be involved in this business venture. Cabinet Outlet was formed due to the inability to bring business from Owensboro to Henderson. They not only carry kitchen cabinets, but also vanities, flooring, countertops, and more. They will digitally design your kitchen or bathroom layout for you at no cost and offer a 2-week lead time. They offer discount pricing and quality products. All cabinets are solid wood with soft close and dovetail construction. Their quality products and flooring are designed to compete with the big box stores. Cabinet Outlet welcomes individuals as well as contractors, realtors, and designers. They also gladly offer a discount to all military and first responders as a thank you for your service. Allow Cindy or Josh to provide a design for you because your project is their business. Cabinet Outlet can make your dreams come true at a fraction of the price. Joining us this morning are Josh Haynes and Cindy Heath. Welcome to the Chamber, Cabinet Outlet. Born out of a need for small business support during the COVID-19 pandemic, Damn Good Business Advisors is designed to encourage economic growth and assist with the recapture of available benefits for small businesses. The Damn Good team provides creative solutions across industries. By helping businesses maximize tax credits and revitalization programs, increase automated services, and identifying strategies to enhance and streamline operations, they encourage small businesses to focus on what they do best. To learn more about relief and services available for your business, visit damngoodbusinessadvisors.com. Joining us this morning are Drew Mitchell, Vince Giaddis, Ronnie Mitchell, and Roxanne Tromley. Welcome to the Chamber, Damn Good Business Advisors. On a mission to inspire better lives, Panda Express is the largest Asian dining concept in the U.S. Family owned and operated since 1983, Panda Express is best known as a trailblazer for creating a wide variety of industry-first recipes, like the original orange chicken and award-winning honey walnut shrimp. The Owensboro Panda Express team is thrilled to be part of the community and welcomes all guests into their doors to try authentic American Chinese favorites. Dine in, drive through, take out, or order online for a quick and easy pickup. Joining us this morning are Roberto Rosales Martinez and Wendy Phelps. Welcome to the Chamber, Panda Express. The Skin Therapist is an ethical and results-driven practice. Obtaining skin goals while being budget conscious is top priority. Constant training and education ensures the Skin Therapist is up to date in the ever-evolving skincare world. From acne to aging to a relaxing self-care day, the Skin Therapist is here to help you put your best face forward. Joining us this morning is owner Madeline Murphy. Welcome to the Chamber, the Skin Therapist.
So if our new members want to stand, we'll just recognize all of you at once. So go ahead and stand and let's, big collective round of applause. Thanks for joining us. We're glad to have you aboard. And fun note about Panda Express, is Matt Fitzgerald here this morning? Is he here? Oh, Matt. About 6 weeks ago, I got a call from Matt. We were talking about Panda Express and how delicious it sounded. He was like, we should go to lunch there. Good idea. It's November 4th, and I haven't had Panda Express yet. So anybody sees Matt, just whisper in his ear, he owes me lunch. All right, it is time now for our Ambassador of the Month. So obviously thanking all of our ambassadors who go out, who welcome us for Rooster Booster breakfast and go out and for ribbon cuttings and promote our small businesses and local businesses. So this month we're going to honor from WKU Owensboro, Kevin Dorff. Kevin, and this is a $50 gift certificate. Actually, it's a donation to a charity of your choice. So congratulations, buddy. Rocking out the Braves t-shirt too there. All right, so excited about our breakfast sponsor this morning because, well, let's be honest, it's delicious. So we're going to actually roll video from Specialty Foods Group, the makers of Kentucky Legend, and then you're going to hear from Eric Scheiss, president of Specialty Foods Group, Kentucky Legend. So let's roll that video.
Commitment. It's always been a defining characteristic of Specialty Foods Group. Commitment to the quality and the relationships that have built Kentucky Legend in all of our brands. But this past year and a half, commitment took on a whole new meaning, as we were introduced to a fact about ourselves we'd never even really recognized before, let alone embraced. That we are a critical workforce, and we have an important job to do. Looking back, it's been a difficult trial, but it's brought out the best in us. To you, the hardworking people who make this company run, no matter what, the message is simple and sincere. President Eric Scheiss.
On behalf of Specialty Foods Group, thank you. Thank you for keeping SFG's defining commitment during a time when it was tested like never before. A commitment to your craft, to our customers, to the families who depend on us, and most of all, to each other. I am truly proud to be a part of this incredible team. And with you, I'm looking forward to a brighter future ahead. Good morning. Again, my name's Eric Scheiss. It's a pleasure for me to represent Specialty Foods Group as a sponsor for November Rooster Booster. I think this sponsorship signals not only our support for the Chamber, but also the City of Owensboro. I want to take this opportunity to thank the over 600 people that work at Specialty Foods Group and make us successful every day. Some of those are with us today at the tables in front of me. As outlined in the video, the last 20 months have been very, very challenging. Not only dealing with the pandemic, but also more recently with the challenges we've had with labor and supply chain issues. Like most other manufacturers, we're dealing with shortages in labor, raw material, ingredients, packaging, to keep our equipment running. We're dealing with longer lead times for projects, capital projects, and most notably freight issues, both coming and going. All of these things make our jobs more difficult and much more difficult for the people at these tables and the people that work with us every day. So thank you. Typically, your tables will be littered with Kentucky Legend swag, and in lieu of that this year, we elected to take the money we would normally spend on that and donate that to pepper that around the city at different shelters. So that's $5,000 we were able to give back this year. However, I know Brooklyn wouldn't let your tables be naked, so to draw your attention to a couple things that are there, there's 2 coupons there. We hope that you think of Kentucky Legend, particularly through the holidays. There's a $15 off coupon for a whole or half Kentucky Legend ham. There's also a coupon for basically a free package of Kentucky Legend Artisan crafted lunch meat. That's a new lunch meat line that we've introduced this year. We have some bold new flavors in that, in addition to some traditional ones. That particular line takes advantage of a network of animal raising that's especially for us. That product can be found locally here at Meijer. It's one of the 2 retailers that have picked that product line up for us. Also on your table, draw attention to the QR code for some promotional giveaways that we have going on between now and the end of the year. There's a giveaway every week with a larger giveaway at the end of the month. And then lastly, I know it'll be mentioned later, but there's a vaccination clinic today.
Yes.
It's available and sponsored by the Green River District Health Department in the Chamber. So we encourage everyone to take advantage of that, and I think there's no appointments necessary. So I'd like to take this opportunity also to extend my gratitude to the Green River District Health Department. They've been wonderful partners in being able to coordinate some vaccination events at our facility for our staff. So I wanted to draw attention and express my appreciation to them for that. So I'd like to close by again giving another thank you to the staff at SFG, the Chamber, and then express my affection to the city of Owensboro and how much we appreciate to be able to operate here. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric. All right, it's time for our November Chamber update, and with that, of course, our president and CEO, Candace.
Good morning, everybody. So good to see everybody today. So as Eric said, today, right after Rooster Booster, we have our 6th, I think, vaccine clinic. So thanks to Kentucky Legend for sponsoring that. They have some really cool stuff that's there and swag on site. And to Clay Horton and the nurses that have been out every single time, as well as First Christian Church for providing just the perfect location for us. To date, at that clinic, I think we 500 shots in arms. It's a great way for people to come that might have just a little bit of they're shy, or because nobody sees you, you stay in your car and you sit in the parking lot until it's time to go. They've got boosters and every vaccine that you would need, and it's free. So if you haven't done it and you're a little nervous, just go on there because nobody there can see you. You're in your car. Put on some sunglasses and you're good. Chamber members legislative survey. We're working on the community priorities and also just internal Owensboro priorities as well. So please, if you have not filled your survey out, go in your weekly email. It's in that and click on that. So it'll take maybe 10 minutes max, but it really helps us find out what our members are thinking about key issues in the community. And then we will take the information on the state projects and share that with the city, county, and EDC, where our community comes together with common goals. The Owensboro magazine and our relocation guide, those advertising deadlines are coming up very quickly. Those are 2 really important ones. One of them is on the shelf for a whole year, and the other, the relo guide, is a 2-year publication. And everyone who is thinking about moving here or people that we're trying to recruit, they get that. So it's your first opportunity to highlight your business, your school system, your nonprofit to people who are moving to our community. The ad deadlines, there's a couple of different ones, but one's next week and one's at the end of November. Make sure you do that because once they finish the ad sales, it's over. Leadership Owensboro, you guys are here today. We've got Education Day. It's going to be chaired by Bart Darrell, President Emeritus of Wesleyan. Bart, thank you. Appreciate that and look forward to spending the day with you all. Great class, and we love you. CYP's lunch meeting is going to be next week. David, just so you know, like our YP organization, we're like better and stronger than Louisville's even. Just want you to know that. Not that we're trying to compete, but so that lunch meeting is next week. We had Yappy Hour last week where people could go and sit out and have a cocktail with their dogs. You know, one of my favorite things to do. Anyway, so CYP next week, and if you're not a member and you're interested, call the chamber. The ambassadors are also meeting November 17th at noon. And a very important announcement, as you all know, and if you don't know, we all need to know, Moneta Sleet Jr. Is a native of Owensboro, and he was the first African-American to win the Pulitzer Prize in photography. He was with the King family and was the behind-the-scenes photographer of so many of the photographs that we've seen in Life magazine and history books across the country. Moneta Sleet Jr., we have our Leadership Owensboro class of 2021, has come together. They are creating a Moneta Sleet Jr. festival. It's called Through His Eyes Festival. That's going to be launched in February of 2023. But the first thing that they've done is to commission a portrait that the class paid for. And our local OHS teacher and vice principal, K.O. Lewis, he's an artist as well, and we're going to unveil the portrait that he has made for the community. That will be on November the 17th at 4:30 at Mike's Rhodes Park. So please be there, and if you're interested in being a part of the festival, just go on through Sleet's Eyes at Gmail, or you can go on any of our social media, and there'll be a link to that. And my staff's like, no, there's not. But there will be, right, everybody? There will be. Shop Owensboro is coming up. All right, we have a big IB crew here today. Nick Aller, where are you? Where are you, Nick? There he is, Nick. So IB, Independence Bank, every year, they power our Shop Owensboro, which is the National Small Business Saturday that specific to Owensboro. And we have several of the merchants that are here today, and I'm going to just go through that quickly. AZ Pizza, Be Real Sports, Cycling, Fitness. I saw Terry. There you go. Bella Ragazza, Bluegrass Museum, Boutique 54, Budget Blinds of Owensboro, Byron and Barclay, Cecil Farms, Consumer Mall, Cottage Farm Stand and Baking Company, of Owensboro, In Vogue, Escape Today, Gadzook, Hillview Farms Meats, Home Inspired, Jiffy Lube Owensboro, Lansing Company, Dental Home, Mellow Mushroom of Owensboro, Owensboro Health Park, The Symphony, Party Paper Place, Preservation Station Market and Event Center, Profile by Sanford, Pure Bar Owensboro, Rael Collection, Red Wing Shoes Owensboro, The Rowland Family Dentistry LLC, Simply Chic Home Accents, Sip Owensboro, Swank Style and Boutique, The Brew Bridge, The Christmas Store at Integrity, The Pub on 2nd, The Red Door Salon and Boutique, The Scrub Shop, The Skin Therapist, The Unique Nest, Willow Pine Market, and XBS of Owensboro, and we will have more to come. I think last year we had around 80, so we're adding merchants every day. But sure, that Saturday after Thanksgiving, we're going to be right outside the convention center, the chamber staff, IB crew, and we'll be out there handing out the bags with all the deals and all the coupons for all of our local merchants. It's a great time to get together, support our local businesses, and have fun while we're doing it. And thank you, renewals. At your places, you have Chamber Matters, and on the back are your member renewals. Remember, we have member directories. Any way that you can connect and shop with Chamber members, those are people that are putting money back in the community and putting their love back in the community, and they're supporting you as well. So we have one more thing that's happening tomorrow, but we kind of thought we needed to talk about it today. So y'all, he's youthful. We know he is. Y'all know he's young at heart. But Chad's turning 50 tomorrow. Oh, yeah. So, Chad, as part of the 50th day, we were talking about, let's just see, come on, y'all. Let's just see what's it. We're going to try to look a photo montage because we know he's youthful. So, Kevin has helped us identify some fantastic pictures. Here's Chad in action. Oh. So we're like, no, Kevin, we need some more. We need something that's like, oh, no, Chad, come on. Chad sleeping. Oh, there's Chad sleeping in a hoodie. There's Chad on the beach sleeping. And there's on the airplane. Oh, that's a great one, Chad. That's just so attractive. Okay, back to that. So anyway, Chad, happy birthday. You everybody want to stand up and sing to Chad?
Oh, my God.
Here we go. All right, I can't lead this. Can anybody up here sing? All right. Happy birthday to you.
Hilarious.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to
Oh my God.
Chad. Happy birthday.
That's so great. Thank you.
Yay! Okay. And I picked this up. I saw this in Northern Kentucky at a little shop named Chad. I swear it was. It's a Golden Girls coloring book. So while you wake up from your nap, have at it.
Thank you. That's hilarious. Thank you so much. That's so funny. That's hilarious.
Should I do special guest?
Yeah.
And so, last but not least, our special guest. So, when you stand, if I'd say your name, if you just stand, Mark Lord from Congressman Guthrie's office is here today. He drove in from Bowling Green. Glad to see him. Kentucky State Rep DJ Johnson, City Commissioner Bob Glenn, City Manager Nate Pagan, Sheriff Keith Kane, Davis County PVA Rachel Pence Foster, Jailer Art Maglinger, Dr. Matthew Constant, Jeremy Edge, and Mike Johnson. Glad you guys are here today.
Thank you for the charming pictures.
Sorry, should I move it?
Well, can we get that off my nostrils, please? Even though if you ever tune into the Wacky Wednesday segment that Angel and I did, yesterday we actually called it Waxy Wednesday, and we waxed my nostrils. So they feel fresh today.
Not a bad idea.
I was playing tennis 2 nights ago over at Center Court with JT and Lucas. They play number 1 and number 2 for Wesleyan, and I was playing with them, and I played tennis my whole life. And JT said, "Hey, are you really excited about the national holiday that's happening on Friday?" Well, Lucas didn't know what he was talking about. So Lucas said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Well, I'm turning 50 on Friday." And Lucas said, "No way! My dad's 50. Lucas, I will bring my tennis racket to your side of the court and play Squid Game with you. Shut up! Netflix users, you know what Squid Game is, right? Yes. Love this, and so excited that Most Valuable Recruiter is back. Visit Owensboro is proud to bring back the Most Valuable Recruiter Award to Rooster Booster. And actually, while I'm going to go through this, Mark, you want to come up? Dave, you want to come up? I'm not sure who's coming up, but if you both want to, that's fine. So the mission of the Most Valuable Recruiter Award is to recognize our community partners for bringing business to the tourism economy in Greater Owensboro. We got the whole staff coming. I love this. This month's Most Valuable Recruiter is the Kentucky Wesleyan College Athletic Department. Under the leadership of Mark Shook and President Dr. Thomas Mitzel, the KWC Athletic Department has been instrumental in restarting the sports tourism economy. KWC held the first tournament at the Kentucky Legend Fields at Fisher Park, bringing in teams from across the country. Kentucky Wesleyan also held the GMAC Track and Field Championships, attracting over 600 student athletes. KWC is also home to the 2A State Volleyball and Soccer Championships. Kentucky Wesleyan also hosted the 2019 NCAA Division II Women's Golf East Regional and the 2020 NCAA Division II Men's Golf Midwest Central Super Regional, which was actually canceled due to COVID-19. In addition to these large tournaments, KWC brings in outside money to our community with several other sporting events every week. So thank you, KWC Athletic Department, for being our most valuable recruiter. Congratulations. And amazing work, by the way. And you know it's serious because the chamber put all that on cardstock and not just regular Xerox paper. So, serious. At this time, we're going to introduce formally our featured speaker today. To do that, the chair of our chamber board, Clay Ford.
Thank you, Chad. Happy birthday tomorrow. And welcome to Rooster Booster. We're glad to have all of you this morning, glad to be indoors. Just a quick note from me, I wouldn't have this opportunity very often, but we do have a recent announcement, retirement. So I just want to say thank you to Sheriff Keith Kane for your service to our community. What a great career. We have a special guest with us today to speak, and we're really glad to have our friend David Tandy here with us this morning. Really excited to hear his message. David is a partner in Dentons law firm, the largest law firm in the world, and you'll hear more about that when he speaks. But he's a member of the Economic Development Practice Group with an emphasis on public policy and community engagement. Prior to joining Dentons Bingham Greenebaum LLP, David served the people of Louisville, Kentucky as president of its Metro Council and helped create an economic environment that led to multi-billion-dollar growth in the city during his tenure as a Metro Councilman. Today, David utilizes his keen knowledge of the intersection between government and business to help corporations, public-private developers, nonprofits, municipalities, and quasi-governmental entities identify and maximize opportunities that help them thrive and strengthen their position for future growth. David is a native of Owensboro, as you heard, and he received his Bachelor of Science degree from Vanderbilt University and his law degree from the University of Kentucky College of Law. David is a member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity, the Theta Omega chapter, and Sigma Pi Phi fraternity, Inc., Psi Bull, and Keystone Lodge number 3, F and AMPHA. Please give a warm Rooster Booster welcome to David Tandy. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Always glad to be back in Owensboro. Whatever home calls, I always answer. And so what went on there is like my involvement here is still in Owensboro is that I'm also on the Owensboro Public Schools Foundation Board, as well as on the Young Foundation Board as well. And so I appreciate the call that I got from folks back here to come, find ways to keep me engaged and coming back here. As such, I also went and recruited Carlos Phillips to try to come on to the board of the School Board Foundation as well. I am not Carlos. I just want to clear that up for a lot of people. A lot of times he and I will get confused for each other. To the point where when he was working for the Chamber of Commerce there in in Louisville, we went on a trip together and he was talking to this woman. We were flying to Denver for one of our glide trips, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But we were flying to Denver for the trip. He had his contacts on when he was talking to her when we left Louisville. Get to Denver, he puts his glasses on, walk down the elevator with him. I wear contacts all the time. The woman comes up, she turns to me and says, Carlos, I enjoyed the conversation that we had on the plane. I was like, I am not Carlos. That is Carlos, So we get all the time. So I say all that to say I'll have plausible deniability. If you like what I said, I'm David Tandy. If you do not like what I say, I am Carlos Phillips, the president of the Greenville, South Carolina Chamber of Commerce. Clay ran down a lot of different titles that I had in the past: president of the city council, partner at the world's largest law firm, all of that. You can call me whatever you want to, but at the end of the day, the title that I answer to all the time is that I'm the son of Samuel and Rosie Tandy. And so I'm glad to have mom and dad here with me today. And Clay and Candace, again, thank you for this invite. Yes, I'm a part of Dentons. We are the world's largest law firm. I've done a lot of different chamber events, so I have to do the shameless plug for for my business at this particular time, since I have the microphone. Dentons is the world's largest law firm. We have 12,000 attorneys around the world. We're in 81 countries around the world, in 205 cities in those countries. In the United States, we're in 44 different cities. We literally can connect you to the world through our law firm. So we're close to you. I have our Evansville, Indiana office, and of course you could always call me. And like I said, whenever somebody from home calls, I always answer. So you have access to that. So if you're looking for solutions with regard to your supply chain, if you're looking for ways to try to get your business exposed to other parts of the world or other parts of the country. If you have legislative issues that you need to have addressed, whether it be on the federal, state, or local level, not only just here in Kentucky, but across the country and in any other parts of the world, please feel free to give me a call. And if I can't do it for you, I can find somebody who can within our firm. So again, I said that's a shameless plug that we're just putting out there. And now that that's done, we can get on to the business at hand. Last week, I was on our GLIDE trip with our Chamber of Commerce. And GLIDE, I can't tell you what the acronym stands for. I know like GLI stands for Louisville Incorporated, the D and the E. I guess it just sounded good. Basically, what we do is we take trips as a chamber to other cities, like cities, and we will study what they're doing and figure out what are they doing well, want to steal, and then at the same time, what are they doing wrong that we can then look at and say, hey, we're not as bad as we may, we think we are, right? And we do those, and we take those trips a lot of times because we want to kind of do some self-evaluation. Well, one of the things that I said about this on this last trip that we just went up to Indianapolis, and we were talking about regionalism and the need for communities to start thinking broader than just themselves, but to start thinking in terms of like other cities and that are in their MSA, their metropolitan statistical area, and that type of thing. And one of the things that I said was, we as Louisville need to start thinking about things not just in terms of the region, so not just Southern Indiana and then those counties that border Jefferson County. We need to start thinking about things in a broader coalition of cities across the Commonwealth. And so one of the things that I like to encourage, I'm going to encourage GLI to do because I'm still actively involved with them, but also with regard to the Owensboro Chamber and others across the Commonwealth, is that we need to start taking those trips together as well. And that we need to start having conversations amongst ourselves about what do we want Kentucky to look like. This is no knock against the Kentucky chamber, but I think that local chambers have a different discussion than, say, maybe like the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce has. Because Kentucky Chamber, a lot of times they're focusing on the big macro companies that we've got, but local chambers, and personally being a former local elected official, we all know that the rubber meets the road on the local level, and we need to start having those conversations ourselves. So one of my provocative thoughts that I'll throw out there to you today is for us to start having that conversation, because a lot of times when some people, I look around the room, they say, well, you're looking at me like, Dave, what are you talking about? Louisville is 700,000 people in Jefferson County. Here in Davis County, we're at about 100,000 people. What do we have in common? Well, everything that I've seen thus far morning, in terms of when we're talking about utilizing our colleges, like you just highlighted KWC, a university here in the city, or college here in the city, using it as a mechanism to attract and attempt to obtain talent to your city, and then utilizing sports as a tourism mechanism to bring people to your community. Those are the same conversations we're having in Louisville right now. You're talking about the drive to make sure we're attracting diverse talent, the people when they come to a community. How do you get somebody to come here? Well, they need to see themselves here. And you can put "see themselves" in quotation marks, because there's a number of different ways you can take that. You can take that from the standpoint of, I can see myself living there because the neighborhoods are great. Or I could see myself living there because they have the entertainment that I'm looking for. Or I could see myself living there because I can see somebody who looks like me in leadership positions all across the community. So then I could see my family and myself being there. Those are the same conversations that we're having up in Louisville. And so it gets back to a point that my wife and I, we just celebrated our 20th anniversary this past April. And the woman who married us was a little 4'2" woman named Willie Barrow. And Reverend Barrow was the executive director of the Rainbow Push Coalition, which was Jesse Jackson's organization up in Chicago. But she married us. And she was a fountain of wisdom, to us. So like in our counseling sessions, she had this whole, like the 10 rules of marriage that she laid out for us. And she shared in her sermon during our wedding. We left it and we gave it to all of our guests as wedding, favors when they left. But one of the things she always would say about people in general is that we are not so much divided as we are disconnected from each other. And that is a profound statement in and of itself. And so when I talk about the need for us to take these mutual trips together, the point of it is I want us to get connected. I may be in Louisville, Kentucky, but I am always a kid from Owensboro. And so I'm always thinking in those regards. And I challenged my folks in Louisville. I always tell them, I said, so know so much about the state, name 7 counties outside of the continuous 7 counties of Jefferson County in Kentucky. And then I get a lot of blank stares. I'm saying, see, that's the problem, right? We need to reach out to other parts of the state. At the same time, other parts of the state need to recognize too that Louisville and Lexington and Northern Kentucky and Owensboro and Boca, we all have things that are in common. We're not others there in Louisville, and you're not others down here, right? We are all trying to get to the same place. We may just do it in different ways. If I were to come here, I came 64 and then I went down the road through Dale, Indiana, and I came here over the bridge in Maceo. But if I wanted to get a different way, I could take the Wendell Ford Expressway down 65, Wendell Ford, come over and come on up. I still got here, I just took a different route, right? That's the same thing for us in life as well. There's a lot of different ways to get to where we want to go, but understand we're on the same path. We all want to get to that same place. We all want a community where our kids can grow up here, thrive here, and come back. Another thing, I'm going way off script right now, but I'm sitting here and I think about all the people from Owensboro that live somewhere else. And think about what it could have been like if we had opportunities to come back here. Now, you're on the right path, so understand that. So I'm not up here this morning to beat you up, so everybody can relax, okay? They didn't bring me here to be a hired gun. Well, you did one. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't brought here to be a hired gun to beat anybody up. But there are opportunities that are here for us. And that's what I want to, that's kind of what I want to talk about this morning, okay? I've had the experience of to be able to sit in 2 different places and I operate today in that intersection between business and government. And while it's vitally important for communities, for us to have qualified people running for and holding elected office, it's equally as important, and at times even not more so, have an actively engaged community and citizenry, right? Citizen is probably the most important title anybody could ever hold. And yet it's something that I don't think we really stop and we think about what does that mean a lot of times, okay? So we can talk about the poisonous environment that we're in politically right now. Okay? We can keep on saying, well, they in Washington need to do something about that and fix that. But I was always told that whenever you point your finger at something or someone, what you need to do is stop and take a look at the ratio of digits that are in either direction. So if you were to you were to point at the wall, you were to point at me, you would notice if you look down at your hand, you've got 1 digit going toward the wall, but you got 3 digits that are pointing back at you. What does that tell us? At whatever environment that we're in, we are the ones that control that. And similarly, so since I'm talking to the Chamber of Commerce and I'm talking about a community, who is one of the critical components to making sure that a community that one, the political environment in a community is set in such a way that you can get rational people and quality people to run for office and not have to subject themselves to the craziness that is in politics today. Right now, politics is more about who's got you, and it's less about what's right for the community and having that debate and that discussion. Clay and our connection beyond our impeccable taste and fashion, the blue suit with the red tie, beside going to the same hairdresser, our connection to each other is through his granddad. Okay, I am a product of Wendell Ford, and when I interned for him in Washington D.C., he would always tell us about how politics is always about the art of negotiated hurt, and the key word in there is the negotiation part of it, meaning there's a give and take. If I were to ask anybody in here, our elected officials currently, whether you're in the state legislature or whether you're in Congress or whether you're on the local school board, how much give and take is there that really takes place in our politics? Today, it's a zero-sum game. It's an all or nothing. And I get that when it comes to campaigning, right? But when it comes time to govern, how would our households be if it were an all or nothing game? If Carolyn and I, we're clearly, like I said, we've been together for 20 years. If it was a zero-sum game where it's either going to be Carolyn, it's either my way or the highway every single time, how long do you think we would have been married together? How long would you still be with your significant other if that was the way we did things? Not too long. And yet that's how we make political decisions and policy decisions that shape the future of our country and shape the future of our communities through a zero-sum game. Crazy. So now the question becomes, how do we fix that? So point at the people in Washington and say, you guys need to fix it. Look at your hand and see how many digits are coming back at you. There's 3 coming back at us. What that tells me is we have to be the ones to fix that. And the Chamber of Commerce, or a part of the chamber, you can fix that. You are the critical part of making the community what it needs to be. Because here's the thing, and I'm probably, saying stuff that as an elected official, it's like, well, I'll put it this way. You remember, did anybody watch Key and Peele? The show Key and Peele, okay? Do y'all remember when they did that whole skit about Luther, who was then President Obama's anger translator, right? I will say this. There are probably, whoever here is in elected office, there are times where you're like, I wish I had an anger translator who could sit right here and say what I really am feeling at any particular given time. So now that I'm not in office, I can say whatever I want to say, right? What I will say is, we as the business community have to change the environment. And the benefit that we have as a business community is that we have the benefit of a long-term view. Elected officials they're only looking at things in the terms of 2, 4, or 6 years. 2, 4, or 6, because either you're elected to a 2-year term if you're in the House of Representatives, a 4-year term if you're in the Kentucky Senate or most other offices, or a 6-year term if you're in the U.S. Senate. And that's how we look at things as an elected official, 2, 4, 6. And will it get me reelected? As opposed to the business community can say, look, I am looking at this thing from the long-term view. And how is this best going to help grow my community? And that's the way we have to operate. Back in July on KET's Kentucky Tonight, Al Cross, there was a segment in July of this year. You can go back and you can look at it yourself. And they were talking about the so-called urban-rural divide and the misnomer that takes place as opposed to that, because there's really no divide. As I pointed out to you earlier in my remarks, that there's really not much difference in terms of the urban areas and the rural areas. We all want the same thing. We just go about it different ways, right? What Al Cross pointed out was, he said, what's interesting is we focus on what's happening on the political front, but it was like, but when you're talking about the future and setting the direction of a community, it was really the entrepreneurial class that set the agenda in their respective communities. And why was that? Because it was in the best interest of business leaders to make sure that they had a community that was vibrant and thriving for everyone. And why was that? Well, it's because if my schools are doing great, then I have an educated workforce that I can call on for my labor force down the line. If my roads are well paved, and I've got infrastructure for broadband and for all the other things I need to run my business, then that helps me, because then it helps me and allows for me to be able to run my business and attract other businesses to my community. And it creates a bigger customer base. So at the end of the day, it helps me. By helping my community, it's helping me. And so that's the power that the business community has. And so with that awesome power and responsibility, there comes a burden that you're going to have to bear. And you have to be intentional about the leadership that you provide for this community. And so there's three things that I just kind of I'm going to leave this with you, and hope that it helps you as we continue to grow together as a commonwealth. First is, I want us to I'm going to sound more and more I kept going over this speech in my head, and the more and more I did, I said I sound more and more like Renee Brown as I do this, for those of y'all who read like some of her stuff. But so we're going to lean in to the uncomfortable. But what I do want you to do is, I want you to embrace evolution. And also, what do I mean by that? So as I look at this room, this was not the Chamber of Commerce that I grew up with those many years ago when I was here. Owensboro High School class of 1991. It is not that. There are more people of color in this room today. There are more women in this room today. We embrace, celebrate like Chad and his husband. Would we be having that conversation 20 years ago? Nah, if I'm being honest. We've evolved. And there's nothing wrong with evolving, okay? There's nothing wrong with taking critical looks at ourselves and ultimately having the courage to say, I was wrong. I think that's the biggest thing. If I go back to my conversation about, what's the environment that we're in right now in politics, it's the fear of being wrong, or even to admit that you're wrong, or you know what, I've changed my mind. We can't have that conversation now. Got to be right all the time, and that's not the way we're intended to be. We were intended to evolve and to grow as a person. I played football at Vanderbilt, and over at 3307 Bob White Avenue, I remember it was like a December evening, and Jared Donardo, who just got hired to be football coach at Vanderbilt, came and he visited our house, and then ultimately went to go play football there. For those of y'all who don't know Jerry DiNardo, he's the guy on the Big Ten Network, if you watch Big Ten football, and he's like the Lee Corso of the Big Ten Network. So that's the guy. But one of the things he always challenged us when we were, as our team, he's like, every day you got to wake up in the mirror and ask yourself, you get better or did you get worse? And when you ask yourself, did you get better? It's like, am I progressing? Am I moving forward with something? And if you're moving forward, you're getting better. But if you stay the same or you regress, you're getting worse, right? And so that's what we have to challenge ourselves is and constantly ask ourselves, is the way that I think about, issues is the way that we approach things in this community. Is it the right thing? Is it the right thing for right now? Tradition is great. Doing things the way that we always have at times they're great, but it doesn't always mean that it always has to be that way. My dad used to always tell the story about a little girl went to the grocery store with her mother, and they went to, back in the days when you would go to the grocery store. Well, now you got the delivery service and all that type of stuff, right? But imagine, if you will, a time when you went to the grocery store and the mother went to the butcher and said, "Okay, I need a 3-pound roast, but I want you to cut a third of it off, and then I'll buy it." So the little girl asked her mom, "Why do we go to the grocery store and buy a 3-pound roast, but we cut a third of it off?" And so the mother goes, "Oh, I don't know. Go ask your grandmother." That's the way we've always done it. So she goes to the mother, asks her, and the little girl says, "Granny, why do we go to the grocery store and we cut the third of the roast off?" And the grandmother says, "I don't know. Go ask your great grandmother." So then she goes to the great grandmother and asks, "Well, great grandma, why do we cut this third of this roast off every time we go to the grocery store?" And when the grandmother says, "Well, you see, we had to do it that way because that was the only way I could get it to fit in the pan that I had to cook my roast." So for generations, you're doing the same thing, all because of the circumstances that were back then that aren't that way now. Okay? So we have to evolve. And if we're wrong, admit that you're wrong. Hey, my thinking has changed on this, and that's okay. Because all of us do that. And it's not an easy thing to do. If evolution was easy, everybody would do it. But the great communities evolve over time, and we adapt to what's called for in the. And so that's what I want us to try to think about and to do here, not only here in in Owensboro, but in Louisville and in Lexington and everywhere else across this Commonwealth. The next thing that I would encourage us to do is to embrace diversity in all of its forms. You're doing that here. You're having some tough conversations. Keep having them. Keep looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, what is it that I can do to continue to grow as a community? And when we say diversity in all its forms, I truly mean that. A lot of times when we're looking at diversity, what it really boils down to is trying to see the world through somebody else's eyes. I remember having a conversation with somebody and we were talking, so we threw the word diversity around, right? And when I heard diversity, I was thinking about, so you're meaning it along racial lines. So we're saying, okay, well, we need to have more black and brown people here and that type of thing. And then when the person I was having the conversation with, when they were talking diversity, that's not what they were talking about. They were talking about diversity of thought, about having a space where we can honestly have a discussion and we may disagree, but out of that, we get to a point to where somewhere in the middle, we're right. That was the thing with King. If you ever really, like when you study Martin Luther King's work, he was a big proponent of, aside from Gandhi's nonviolence practice, he was also a big proponent of the Hegelian dialectic. Now, I know that's a lot in the morning to kind of, digest. But basically, the Hegelian dialectic is that there is one premise over here, there's another premise over here, and somewhere in the middle is where the truth lies, right? That's where we are as society. Right now, we've got two camps, and it's over here and over here, and you're thinking you're absolutely true. And the fact of the matter is, that's not life. Life is somewhere right here in the middle, okay? That's what diversity is. Diversity is the benefit of having all these different ideas come to the table. And you're having other ideas that presented to you that you wouldn't have thought about because you're just looking at things through your view. But great leadership comes when you're able to try to look at things through somebody else's eyes and their experiences, and then try to empathize with that to then come up with the best solution for us going forward. Okay? So then finally, what I would hope that we would also continue to work to do is to be bold. Now, here's the thing. Most cities get real timid when it comes to being bold. And it goes back to creating the environment that we need, particularly for like our elected officials. Give them a space where they can be bold. Okay? The difference between Hopkinsville, Kentucky, Clarksville, Tennessee, came when the people of Hopkinsville decided they didn't want to be bold and create a city that would attract the troops and their families from Fort Campbell to the Kentucky side of the base, settle after they retired from the military. But Clarksville, Tennessee said, yep, we'll do it. And we have our university there, Austin Peay, sitting right there. And we'll use that to attract people to our community. The difference between Louisville, Kentucky and San Antonio, Texas, Washington, D.C., and Indianapolis is that when the ABA, the American Basketball Association, anybody here remember the Kentucky Colonels? Okay. So the Kentucky Colonels, the Indianapolis Pacers, the San Antonio Spurs were all a part of the ABA. They were separate from the NBA. NBA and ABA were getting ready to merge. San Antonio, Indianapolis, the Washington then Bullets, Wizards, they all decided, yep, we'll pay the $1 million and go ahead and join the NBA. Louisville decided, we're good. We'll pass on that. And now, when you turn on ESPN, you see Indianapolis, you hear San Antonio, you hear Washington, you hear all these cities. We don't hear Louisville, all because of the decisions that we made back. Being bold sometimes means you're stepping out on faith as a community and doing things that you can't necessarily see it. It's like looking out this window right now. We can step out there and we know I can't really see the river, but I know that it's there, right? That's the same thing in the communities. Nashville, Tennessee, they was there in college when the transformation of Nashville happened. They built their arena before they even had a pro team. Then they get the Predators. They did it as part of the expansion of their convention center. They did all the work on 2nd Street, bringing the Hard Rock Cafe and Planet Hollywood, the Longhorn Saloon, all up and down 2nd Street, all before you had the Houston Texans deciding, hey, we want to move. I mean, it's not Houston Texans, but Houston Oilers, and that's how they got the Titans. Okay? They stepped out. They did it ahead of time. Indianapolis, the reason why, actually, I take that back. It was not Indianapolis. It was Oklahoma City was in competition with Indianapolis for the United hub at one time. And they went out and they pushed to try to, they were pushing to get a low option sales tax in Oklahoma. They were successful in getting it. They went out there and built everything up to try to lure United there. They ultimately ended up picking Indianapolis, but because they went ahead and stepped out, they were able to build their city point to where then they started attracting more businesses that were available to come to them. That's the bold type of leadership that has to take place, and it's the business community that has to be able to be the ones to set that environment. Okay? Because, quite frankly, elected officials, we respond to our community and our constituents. But you have the freedom to think long term and to look at things in a longer term view beyond the 2, 4, 6 year time periods and set that agenda for moving forward. And so that's what we want, and I want to encourage you to. I'm going to close out with one of my favorite quotes from Robert Kennedy. And hopefully you'll use this to kind of keep us as essentially as the anchor of your mind to kind of sum up what I would try to talk about today. And that is, Robert Kennedy always would say, there are those who look at the world as it is and ask the question, why? I choose to look at the world as it ought to be and ask the question, why not? My hope for you this morning is that you will leave here and start to continue to ask yourself the question, why not? Why can't Owensboro be the greatest city on the Ohio River? Why can't Owensboro be the type of city to where we're saying Bowling Green who? Years down the line. Oh, did I strike a nerve? Did I? Because I will tell you, that was the thing that got me, was like, I would always say, yeah, we're the third largest city. All right. Yeah, that's right. That's where I'm from. And then Bowling Green started doing what they're doing. I'm like, what? Wait a minute. Nah, that's the order of the universe is off, you know? It's like Owensboro High School not winning the city county championship in football every year. I mean, that's just, I'm sorry, did I strike another? But we have an opportunity here to be a great city. Owensboro, I will tell you, I would not be who I am today if it was not for many of you in this room today. You helped shape me. You helped make me who I am. You helped make a ton of people who are not only living here in Owensboro, but in other parts of the Commonwealth and other parts of the world. My hope is that we will create a city where we can come back, right? That you can keep your talent here, that these scholars that are at the academy, that they look at Owensboro and say, I don't have to go somewhere else to get to anywhere I want to in the world. I can do it right here in Owensboro. And I can be that person. I can be the mayor of Owensboro. I could be the head of the chamber. I could be the one who's leading Kentucky Legends food. I could run that big business. And we have to create the environment to where we're helping these young people get those opportunities. And we're being intentional about our leadership. And so, why not? Can't we embrace evolution? Can't we embrace diversity in all of its forms? And why can't we be bold here in Louisville? I believe that we can. Thank y'all so much. God bless you. And if you need me, give me a call. Thank you.
David, great job. Thank you so much. By the way, I love the hand analogy, and I feel like I need to go back to an earlier moment from today. Matt, you do owe me Panda Express lunch, but analogy, I arrange cupcakes for dessert. Nailed it. So we would not have Kentucky Legend here today without having hams here too. Excuse me.
Oh my gosh. You gonna throw it?
I'm not going to throw it. Yes, actually, I have a slingshot. We have delicious Kentucky Legend hams. When you all walked in today, I'm sure you noticed we had some prehistoric creatures down here. Okay, I love this. Are you really wheeling those in on a cart? This is hysterical. Thank you, Vanna. There's actually a really cool exhibit that's going to be opening this weekend here at the Owensboro Convention Center. It's called Dinosaur Adventure. This morning when you walked in, you got a little taste. So if you have kids and grandkids, bring them out. It's going to be really, really cool. Can I hand this ham to you too? Oh, actually, there's a spare. Okay, so we thought we would combine Kentucky Legend ham this morning and Dinosaur. So here's what we're going to do. And by the way, students from the Western Academy, this is not just for the adults. You all can absolutely play too, okay? But let's be honest, who doesn't want ham, right? So feel free, and it would be great to actually see a table of young people smash the adults and win, okay? So I'm gonna ask a question. It is rather prehistoric in nature. And so if you think you know the answer, yell it out. The first person who yells out the correct answer is actually going to win a delicious Kentucky Legend ham. Yeah, actually. So, I lost the question. Hang on one second. Excuse me. The Wi-Fi's kicking this morning. This is a really good one too. This is very Jurassic in its nature. So, which dinosaur fossil was originally mistaken for a type of bison? Okay. Was it the Buffalosaurus, the Allosaurus, the Triceratops, or the Stegosaurus?
Uh-oh.
Okay, I actually heard somebody over here said Triceratops. Who was that? You, my friend, are correct. It was the Triceratops. Where's Vanna? We need to will the Kentucky Legend hams because you just want a ham for everybody at your table. Yes, you did. Congratulations. You all were very thankful that you're here with us. Obviously, this is the month of Thanksgiving, right? So very thankful that you are here. Very thankful that most of you got up this morning and put your clothing on the right way. Not everybody did, Sarah. So thank you very much. Sarah Hemingway had her outfit on inside out this morning, how to fix it. But you know what? She's with us. She's proud. She's here. We're proud of each of you. Did you all have fun this morning? Our scholars from Western Academy, did you have a good time? We really appreciate you being with us. Seriously. Keep up the good work. Oh my gosh.